we also have the worst team of the week. We always have to finish that up, right? Who is that worst team in your eyes?
Yeah, the biggest losers this week were the Washington Redskins. And Dan Snyder would absolutely 100% disagree with me.
Right.
Because there was a Supreme Court ruling that struck down part of a law that bans offensive trademarks and is expected to help the Redskins in their legal fight over the team name. Now, to me, this makes them losers because the team name Redskins is offensive and it's racist and it needs to go away. And we have offended enough people by terming this team the Washington Redskins, by having the logo be out there. There have been protests. We've gone, to reservations and done polls about how many people are offended by this. If you're a Native American, you do not want to be called a Redskin. That is not something that is appropriate anymore. It's 2017. This has been appropriate for decades, let alone appropriate in 2017. Now, the Supreme Court is saying that it is okay to have offensive team names, and the Washington Redskins are looking back and going, well, the government just was on our side, ruled in our favor, essentially, because of this ruling, and now we don't have to go at war, be at war with the government anymore, and we can continue with this team name, and people will protest, and that's fine because it's not going to be an issue for us anymore.
And
that makes them losers.
And we can't count on Daniel Snyder.
No.
To change the name in good faith.
He said he would never, ever change it.
So even though they won a court case, you're saying
they didn't win they didn't win the court case, but they won
they're going to be able to lean on that.
Yes.
That victory by that one band that they'll be able to.
They won the trickle-down effect.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. My worst team, not quite as political as yours, but that's okay. That's okay. But certainly, we saw if my best team was the Golden State Warriors, it's kind of easy to pick who the worst team was this week. And it's a little bit of a stretch. You finished second, but you finished last. And we're seeing right now what's happening with the Cleveland Cavaliers as they are trying to figure out what can they do to try to make up that ground, that gap. And it looks like a considerable gap between them and the Golden State Warriors right now. Yeah, I know that, a few bounces here and there, maybe they win Game 3 and that series changes. Well, it didn't.
Right.
You had your chance to wrap up that game, and you didn't do it, and could have changed the complexion of that series, but you didn't. So that, with this latest news, that you're going into the draft in 48 hours without a GM, this is not good. This is not good for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you know that your star player, the best player on the planet, has tweeted out that subtweet, and he knows that we already know that he has a home out in L.A.
Right.
So he might be moving out there permanently. He may be making another decision and leaving for the West Coast. This is interesting timing here for the Cleveland Cavaliers to be doing all of this, and I don't think it's going to end well here. I think LeBron James is out of here at the end of next year, and something we can look back to the stuff that happened today or the last 24 hours as maybe helping him make that move over to LA.
I completely agree with you. LeBron's pretty transparent, and when he's not confronted about something within the organization, something that he really requires to be able to have control of, he goes ahead and puts it out there and lets everyone know, hey, listen, this decision did not come through me, and you know how I feel about that. So I just want to let everyone know.
Yeah, remember, they were built to win this year, to defend their crown. They won it last year, of course. They were built to repeat. It didn't happen, and we see now that they really don't have any parts to go out and do things and really significantly improve their team. Now, I'm curious to see what they would have done in this Jimmy Butler deal and how they might have been able to get a third team involved. And they still might.
Sure.
But they also might find out that by the time they do get a GM, that Jimmy Butler, Paul George, and whoever else they might have on their list are already with new teams. Sure.